It's noontime. Istanbul. In a park. Two young men stand in the middle of a path, forcing others to go around them. They began dancing. One was Jake Boaster Howler, doing his iconic twerking to the disgust of many of the passers-by. The other was Kim Stags Kutek, who would not stop thrusting and shushing people. It made quite the scene. After 27 continuous minutes of dancing, the pair sat down and talked about their struggles with Valorant. Boaster asked, "Do you think one of us will ever win a trophy?" Stax replied, "Maybe one day. Maybe when you learn to think like me." Boaster replied, "What do you mean, think like you?" But as he finished his question, Stax was already wheeling away on his heelys. The question troubled Boaster for a while. At night he could not sleep, those words still ringing in his ears. It frustrated him so much, he slammed his head on his desk once. At that moment, in came Enzo Mestari, saying, "Ooh la la, I am French. Do not do this, Boaster. You will be concussed." And that is when he realized. Stax was known for being good on Breach. "So let's just play Breach on Breeze," he said. And that is what this video will be about. So yes, today we will be taking a look at Breach on Breeze, because it is very interesting that Fnatic decided to play Breach on Breeze. And I've seen a couple Breaches on Breeze before, but I've never really been convinced by it. But Fnatic did some very interesting things indeed. So let's take a look at them, shall we? They're also running a Neon as well. Alphea's playing Neon. So let's find out what they did. And we'll start here in round number 3, where Fnatic are on the attack. And they're going to play pretty fast. And they did this, for the most of Breeze as well. They were playing pretty quick overall. And so let's just start off here, and we're going to start straight away because Mystic is going to first off just put his stun down here towards elbow, right? And that's going to allow Durka to come here, and it's going to free up some space for these two to do this, as well as we're going to go in for a pretty quick B split, as you will see. And in fact, let's just stay on the map instead. So Enzo is going to do a dart lineup from here on the silver as well. We start off with these two neon stuns, so that there's no early pressure here to potentially pick these two players off. And Boaster and Alfia here are going to follow this neon wall that they've put down to try and get deep in towards B. And Boaster, as you will see in just a second as well, is going to put its Viper wall coming down from here, right? So he puts the Viper wall just across down here from like inside the neon wall, which is quite interesting as well, right? Like kind of an interesting way to do it. And obviously for this B split, this obviously just gives them a lot more space. It gives Durka a little passageway through as well, and gives them more space to kind of maneuver and get deeper control of the site overall. So they start to come in onto the site. KO Knife comes in response there, but what's also going to happen, and what has already happened actually, is Mystic has also put down a flash that I think is just coming in around here. And this is one of the interesting uses that they had for Breach, is that and I did not know that I guess it makes sense, but you can really flash from Breach from a long way away. And so Mystic from all the way down here is able to get a flash all the way through that wall. Okay, and so that means that as they start to come in here, you've got some really deep flashes coming in. And as you'll see, they start to come in. They start this B split. You've got Durka on one side of the wall, and you've got Alfia coming in here. Digizin is going to get the first kill, but Alfia trades it out quite nicely. And they've also managed to get Boaster in this very little ratty spot here as well. Very kind of powerful position, because as you will see, no one ever really expects you to be there, and Boaster's going to get a free kill later on. But yeah, in they start to come. And you can see that Mystic has used two flashes. He used the other flash in like a similar location, just on the outside of this wall. And Alfia is able to get another kill as well. Now, Alfia does get revealed by the dart. We also had a recon dart there from Enzo that he shot at the very start of the round that ended up coming in around here for the back site. Everyone was kind of already dead by the time it came in, because Alfia just destroyed them. But we end up in this 3v3. But as I said, Boaster's position here, very ratty. They get the spike down very fast. And well, it was just a nice little B split execute overall. Alfia was really feeling it at the start of this game as well. We end up in this 2v3, and eventually Fnatic will be able to close this one out. And yeah, this was part of the reason that I think Fnatic played well with the Breach. You see Mystic get that kill there, is that they just did some things that honestly I didn't even know were possible, right? The flash through the walls, and we'll see other ones as examples in later rounds as well. As you see, they are eventually just going to close it out, as Mystic is eventually going to classic get the kill as well, as he's jumping with the right click. And now let's come to the very next round, because they are against a save here, Fnatic, but again, this is going to be another clean round, as this time they are just going to group up and go for just a full A exec out of Cave. and you'll see that again it is very, very successful. So we start off with that breach flash you just saw there that comes in and kind of just flashes this close angle here for anyone in the close vicinity of Fnatic. Obviously, we can see there isn't anyone there. Viper wall goes up. In comes the drone, clears close for them. In comes the neon wall. In comes the stuns as well down here. Very, very effective stuns for anyone playing, obviously, in this close corner. And Fnatic start to come in onto the site. Whilst that's going on as well, you've got this recon dart again. And I think that this is something that we see a lot of on Breeze. And I think, honestly, we'll probably see it a bit more coming in as well on some other maps if you are playing Sova, which is these kind of deeper darts that, spend a long time looping in the air or whatever, so that they land when you start to come in with the drone and stuff as well. And so it's just like an extra bit of utility that is all cascading at exactly the same time. Whilst that's going on, we're going to get a breach done down here from Mystic as well. And you're going to see that just as Alfira is coming out of this position, he's going to be able to get that. We've got a snake bite back here as well. I mean, it's just all really, really well done, as you will see, because you can see here that this Viper is in that snake bite. They're vulnerable. We've got the person by the tower, by the pyramid, sorry, getting hit by the stun as well. You see that Alfia gets a kill there on someone who's vulnerable, and then we got a stun player here as well. And then even this recon dart that's landing on the back of the orange box here is going to actually reveal the jet as well as they're coming out from the double doors. And so we get 3 nice easy kills. We get the spike down. Really, really good execute by Fnatic overall. And you can see that they definitely had a lot of good ideas with their combos, and we'll just play this a bit faster forward because there isn't too much that happens here other than Enzo struggling with this dart. Sorry that I have to keep this in here, Enzo, but it's quite funny as he tries to shoot the dart multiple times and keeps missing. Then Mystic is going to end up winning that fight against Quick, and then we end up in this 3v1 where Mystic will finish it off. But now let's come to round 7. So for some interesting breach tech again. This time Fnatic are going to go for a fast A split. As I said, they played pretty quick overall, and we're going to get a Viper's Pit here on A. But let's just take a look at what they do, because Mystic is going to come into holes here. There's the Viper's Pit, and they do this same neon wall here down in mid. But this time, instead of running up this way, they're going to come through the double doors instead. Boast is going to put his wall across like that, which is a pretty common wall for this as well. Stun comes in early on the double doors. The trademark gets destroyed, and in come Fnatic. But the key part here really is Mystic, because this is something that I definitely did not know, which is that from this position, you can send flashes through this wall to come out of here on breach, right? So anyone who's, facing this way, trying to, deal with this, is going to get flashed from this position, which is really, really interesting. Obviously, just the idea of holes as well. And I think this is an idea maybe Fnatic can explore even more is, you can get the breach in sort of interesting angles here to potentially do some pretty devastating stuns as well. So in this instance, Mystic is just going to do it, kind of one from where he is and just across here. But there's potential as well. If Mystic ever got, pushed up over in towards here holes, they could do a stun, across the back of this, which could be quite interesting as well, or even towards the yellow box as well, right? There's a ton of different potential with hole, I think, just getting the breach to have some nice little angles. And you'll see that what happens is, of course, the Viper here, who's kind of been left alone, not expecting to be pushed like this, obviously is going to react to people doing this. He's going to come this way, and Enzo is going to send out the drone, and obviously knowing that, yeah, you're going to somewhat, retreat a bit from, where you're fearing all of this pressure coming in from. So that is exactly what happens, where the drone comes in. Down here, the Viper retreats over this way. We actually get a neon stun, and eventually he will be tagged here, Khalil, but he does manage to find the kill on Alpha, but tagged up, he does die there. And whilst this is going on as well, right, we've got the Boaster who's like set up, because they're doing these walls, right, Boaster's kind of already set up for a lurking position here, and so you'll see he's going to get the next kill from that as well, where they get that kill. And you'll see that Furia are also pinging out this, right, they're pinging out that there could be danger here, because they have seen, they had seen the breach stun come from this area, so they're worried about this as well, that, Mystic could still be down there, and at some point maybe come down here towards the doors. So it's just like they just had a lot of control, obviously, with Boaster having this mid control. Obviously they have cave control. They've threatened that they might have holes control as well. It's a lot for Fury to have to do, and eventually after Dirk is going to win that fight against the KO there, you end up in a situation where actually Furia are just going to save. And now let's come to round 10, and it's actually one of the slower rounds from Fnatic, which was pretty rare for them in this game, as they just wait for a push. But Durka, he's going to go exploring here, right? He's wondering, why have I not seen anyone yet? And the reason is because the Sova was just hiding in there, and he gets caught off there. And so we end up in this 4v5, and Fnatic actually lose the first kill. But that's not going to dissuade them at all. Instead, they're going to group up towards B. And at this point, right, we've already seen a B split. We've already seen an A split. We've seen a hit from just A. And now here is their hit from just B as well. So you see they have some pretty good ideas for all of the different things you could potentially do. And you'll see what we're going to get is, again, we're going to get a Sova dart at the backside. We're going to get Viper Molly coming in at the backside as well. We're going to get a breach stun just across here. As you can see, Mystic is lining up for a breach stun across the site as well. We're going to get a drone coming in. So in goes the dart, up goes the wall. We're going to get the drone coming in as well. In goes the neon, up goes the neon wall. We've also got this flash just here that's going to blind that chamber just there as the neon wall is coming in. In comes the drone, as I said. In goes the neon stuns that you just saw there. You see there's a ton of things going into it, and actually Alfia is able to get the first kill as the drone sees the chamber. Alfia starts wrapping around behind. Quick starts to feel some pressure from both sides, and yeah, as I said, he actually dies to the Viper Molly lineup that comes at the back of the site just here. That's the actual thing that finishes him off as he was getting tagged up as he TP'd away. Crazy way to end it. The dart goes in at the back of the site, as you can see. Alpha's a bit confused at where that chamber went, but he's actually already dead. In goes the Viper's Pit as well, and well, from here, obviously, it's just a really nice execute from Fnatic that they just destroyed Furia with. We will see a nice little flash here from Furia as well coming around. Really nice flash there that catches Alfia, and they managed to get that kill as well. But in the Viper's Pit, they are going to mop up here as Boaster is just kind of chilling at the back, and Mystic is going to be the one that takes contact and manages to basically win them this round, as you see just there. And now again, the time will run out and Fnatic will win the round. And then let's come to round number 12 as well, which they're going to have a sneaky idea, which is they're going to try and run a bit of a fake, but actually doesn't end up really working because there's 4 people here from the side of Furia. So they do the same stuns, the same wall, right, and they're going to go up here. We get the same stun from the breach. We're going to get the same flashes as well, the same Viper wall that goes up. So this looks like that B split that they want to do again. And you see here that the chamber has been blinded by these flashes. And look at where Mystic is, right? He's all the way back here, but as I said, you do this flash through this wall, comes in just through here, and as you can see, it has caught the chamber this time, and so, well, Alfia gets basically a free kill there on Quick. But whilst that's actually going on, as I said, they were trying to run a fake and hoping that these guys would rotate, but unfortunately, they actually pushed down here into Durka's op instead, and so these guys know that Durka's here, and they're a bit worried about that as well. So what happens instead is, as Alfia pushes up, instead, basically, Durka's just going to take them out for a ride, and we end up in a 5v2 very fast indeed. The drone is going to see where Khalil is there. Dirk is going to kill him as well, and the drone is even just going to see where the last player is as well, and Enzo wins that fight there on the trade, and Fnatic get a 10-2 half. One place that maybe Fnatic did struggle a little more with was the defensive side, and so we'll show round 18 here as well, though, just to show you what the breach was doing on the defense. As I said, they did struggle a bit more, but you know, it was already 10-2, and the game was still pretty comfortable for Fnatic overall. So, you know, I'm not going to blame them too much. This, you know, was still a pretty commanding lead that they had at all points. But you see the Fury, you know, they start to pressure towards mid as well. They get the jet pretty pushed up, but Durka is watching it. And what we're going to see here is actually that they go and destroy the chamber trap here in A. So the chamber has put down his trap there, hoping perhaps, you know, to gain this control. But Fnatic have gone and destroyed it, so the chamber comes and re-clears all of this. Actually peeks out and almost catches Mystic off guard there, but doesn't manage to get a kill, and we end up in this position. But now Furia are going to go for this B split. They kind of have all the pieces in the positions that they want, and so they're kind of ready to make this move. Up goes the Viper wall, in comes a KO knife, right? The pressure starts to come in. Buster starts to do some snake bites here towards the mid doors. In comes a KO Molly as well, and so Mystic feels like, okay, the pressure is coming. We know it's coming from mid door, so what he's going to do is he's going to ult a main. And the idea behind this is obviously that's going to completely stop this side of the attack from coming, so that everyone on Fnatic for just, you know, a brief while can just focus on these guys coming from the door instead, and they don't know that they shouldn't really have to worry about this for, you know, the next couple seconds. And that is exactly what happens pretty much, because in goes that ult. Obviously these guys retreat because they don't want to get hit by the ult, and so whilst all this utility is coming in, instead Boaster is able to just fully focus on this instead, and they end up in this position where now the timing is just all off, right? Your utility now has all been destroyed, everything's kind of gone, and instead, you know, now the KO is worried about, you know, maybe a flank coming as well, so he's going to come out here but actually die to Alfia just there. So he dies as well. We end up in a 5v3, and now Fnatic, feeling like they've dealt with this part of the attack, can now just go back and deal instead with the other side. And so you see the Viper walls go up, but Mystic's able to find that kill there. And even though he dies to Khalil, eventually it will be simple enough, as Endo is going to drone, ping out where this opposition Viper is. Boaster gets that kill, and it's pretty easy from here, and the time has elapsed. So really good round from Fnatic overall. I mean, I think that the breach, as I said, there was some interesting little things that they did. I wonder if they've got, you know, a couple more things in store potentially, as well as a surprise pick on this breach. And you know, if you haven't seen these kind of things before, it can be a big nuisance, as you just saw, and it definitely helped Fnatic win this game.